Hey there, crafty pals. Welcome back to another episode of Cassie Creates. Happy that you are able to be with me today. We are making a set of cards using backgrounds made by a gel press. If you have never used gel press before, don't be concerned. It is a simple process to start out learning, so it's a lot of fun. You might have noticed something different today. Yay, I finally got one, a glass media mat from Tonic Studios. This thing is awesome. It has the grid printed on the back, so you can't scratch it off. It's durable. Has this great white space right here, so you can see the true color of your inks while you are working with them. And you can use it for your blending, as you saw there, watercolor. If you get glue or glossy accents or something like that on it, it will wipe right off. It also can just dry and you can peel it off. It's a fantastic tool. I'm thrilled to have it. Here's a preview of the cards that I made today. And as you see, all of these have similar but different backgrounds. And all of these backgrounds were made using a gel press and my dye inks that I already have in my stash. Let's get started. Here is the gel press I'm using today. It's by Gelli Arts. It is a 5x7 gel press, and this is what it looks like when you get it from the store. I got this one from a big box craft store. You can get them at a lot of different places online. I'm using my Memento Dew Drop ink pads today. I have all 36 of them, and of course I have them on my handy swatch chart there from Ellen Hudson's website. I left this in here. I didn't actually end up using this, but you can also use pigment ink on your gel press in conjunction with your dye inks, and it has lots of different cool effects that you could use, so I wanted to mention that. Here is my Misty that I normally put my gel press on. Thank you, Jennifer McGuire, for that tip, so I can have it mobile and kind of move it around. Today I'm doing something different since I've got my new mat. We're going to start with the guillotine trimmer, the guillotine, and some Neenah bright white paper. This is 65-pound weight, so it's layering weight. Now you can certainly make a two-sized paper to press, but because I have a 5x7 gel press, I like to use half sheets. So this is 5.5, so it's 8.5 by 11 cut in half there. So I can use the whole half sheet on my gel press. As you can see, it's pretty flexible. You want to make sure that it's nice and straight when you put it down, and it's flexible, but it's got a little bit of I don't know how to explain it other than it's a little solid as well. Here's a brayer I'm going to be using today. It is an acrylic brayer. I think that a rubber brayer would be better for this technique, but I did not have one in my craft room at this time. I'm using, of course, my Memento inks, as I mentioned, and this is the swatch chart. I can't recommend it enough. It's from Ellen Hudson's website. I use it every time I craft because I use my Memento inks constantly. I have the whole set of 36 swatched here with this leaf pattern, and you'll notice that I have mine numbered from 1 to 36 in the order from left to right, the way that she has them on the chart. Now this was so that I could label my dewdrop pads in order. I kept the trays that originally came with the inks, and I have a Cricut. I was able to cut out a teardrop shape with a number, the corresponding number printed on the back, or onto this, it's just sticker paper, and swatched a little butterfly there with the color and the name of the ink. And I did this for all 36 of my pads and put them in order. And of course we have 16 pads per tray, so I have 1, 2, 3 little trays there, and this way I can store them vertically, just like this, one on top of the other. And I have, because I don't have a lot of room in my craft room, so I can store them upside down the way that I prefer, and they can be stored vertically, which saves space on my small craft table. It's very, very handy. As I was looking at this swatch chart, I really liked some colors that I saw beside one another. You can see them there. The Cantaloupe and Pear Tart and Teal Zeal. So I am getting out number 7 there from my tray. The Pear Tart is number 13, and I realize that that's in the second tray. Just pop it right out. There it is, right side up. I have Teal Zeal last, and that's number 19, which is in the same tray. There we go. And just like that, I've got my colors ready to go. Makes it very easy when crafting to have everything swatched. A lot more simple, in my opinion. And it expedites the process, which is always a good thing. Now then, I have a clean, dry gel press, my stack of paper, and I also have this very handy dandy water sprayer. Had this thing for probably 10 years. You can see where the label used to be. I peeled it off and it had some residue still there. I don't remember where I got this. Very likely a dollar store. It sprays a very fine mist, and I find it is incredibly useful when crafting with. I can clean things off with it. I can use it to add texture to my oxide inks. You name it. There's lots of different ways we can use our spray bottles. So, you know what? It didn't break the bank, but I use it a lot. So I encourage you to grab a spray bottle if you don't already have one. Now then, I'm going to start this gel press process by dabbing on some inks randomly, and I'm going to take my brayer and roll it in one direction. Now, I started rolling it in the other direction. I wish I would have just done one direction. It usually turns out better that way. My first sheet is going to be my wipe off sheet, where I just wipe my brayer, roll it off. Here I pressed very, very well, and when I pulled up, there we have it. A really pretty print. I like the way this one turned out a lot. Now you see there it's kind of speckledy on the right side where I didn't spread the ink out as much, so it beat it up. But it still looks really pretty. And I'm not going to use the entire sheet. I'm going to cut this down later so I can really pick and choose where I want the good part to be. You could spray it off if you wanted to. I used a wet cloth and then a dry cloth to clean off my gel press. Now I'm taking these same ink colors and dabbing them on in dots almost, a little more random areas. And taking my handy mister, spraying a light mist of water. I'm protecting my paper there. Spraying a light mist of water over the surface of my gel press. I will then take a dry brush. This is just one of my paint brushes I had nearby, and create some lines and texture in the gel press. And then when I push my paper down and then peel to reveal, ooh, look at that. That's neat. Very cool. That's what's fun about gel press, is just trying stuff and seeing how it turns out. Now then, I pressed it again with some more green over top it because I thought it would look better. I don't particularly like that one as much now, but that's okay. We live and learn. Now then, for my next 2 backgrounds, I picked a couple different colors. I picked the Rosebud colors, a really pretty, very vibrant pink color, and Lulu Lavender, the lightest purple in this set. Now you'll notice I put my light ink on first and then my darker ink kind of in stripes this time. And I'm rolling my brayer across, blending those colors together, wiping it off. And when I pressed, this time the colors blended really well. So I got kind of a purpley pink color. Very, very pretty. And because I had smushed the brayer around so much, it was very smooth looking. I like this color that it created a whole lot. That one's going to be a pretty background when we're finished. Now I'm going to take the same inks and dot them around and kind of randomly move my brayer across again. And then press it down. And the fourth print that I got was very similar, but because I lifted my brayer and kind of jiggled it around a little more than just straight back and forth on the other one, I got kind of a more variegated look. And also I used less of that vibrant rosebud color, which I think assisted. It didn't overpower the entire print. So there's a tip for you when using a dark color and a light color. Be careful if you've got a really pigmented or an ink pad that's got a lot of ink in it. It's a heavy color versus a light color, because if you can really overpower the print quickly by using a lot of that heavy color. I've got my trusty Cuttlebug ready to go. And I'm taking the Gina K Master Layouts dies. This is the Master Layouts 2. Are you guys surprised I'm using Master Layouts? I can't tell you how great of an investment these Master Layouts have been. I use them, I feel like, constantly. Almost every time, nearly every time I make a card. I think she's up to 7 of them now as of July 2021, if I believe that's correct. So I'll have to be adding to my Master Layout stash here pretty soon. I'm using the large stitched rectangle from the Master Layouts 2 set. I used some glitter washi tape there. It doesn't have to be glitter, of course, but I used some washi tape to hold it in the place that I wanted. I chose where on my 5x7 print I wanted to cut, and cut it. Look at that result. Super cute with that stitching, and really just a beautiful color as well. That's the smooth one that we created earlier. And the great thing is that you still have leftover pieces there, and you see the Master Layouts 2 has little flags. You could cut out, save that and cut out little pieces from it, and you could even use it on the same card if you want to. Now we're not doing that today because I'm doing very simple cards, but you could definitely do it, or save it for another card, no problem. Now I'm going to cut out all of the rest of my cards, and you see I've skipped over that process because you guys know how it goes. And there we have it. These are our 4 cards. Different but similar. That's what I like about the gel press. Now I'm taking my mini Misty stamping tool, and I will stamp our sentiment directly onto this background using some black ink, Tuxedo black. This stamp set I got a while back, before I understood or knew to label my stamp sets and what they were called and such. I know that this one is for practicing your calligraphy, and I'm sure that I got it at one of the larger craft stores. I'm just not sure what brand it is. So these stamps are a little bit thinner, but they do ink just fine. Here's a trick: you can make sure your Misty door is flat when you ink by picking up the other side. Now I'll go ahead and ink this up a few times because I just want to make sure that it is a bold black sentiment, easy to read against all the vibrant inking that we have in the background. Also, there's a tip: I push on the middle of my ink pad, not just the outsides of it, so it inks all of the stamp at once. And I'll freeze it here, and there we go. Thinking of you. Really pretty, easy breezy. Now in this one, I have a thank you card, and you saw that I used, pardon my head, it gets in the way for a moment, I'm correcting, and the N had a little fuzz that was attached to it, and it didn't completely stamp correctly, so I had to fill it in with a black marker. But you saw there that I used a dry cloth to run over it to get this beautiful impression. You can also do that if you don't have a Chucky tool or similar. I made a happy birthday there and a happy birthday here. I like this one a lot. I just love that background. I don't know what it is about it. It's just really pretty. And you see how we have a pretty coherent group of cards here. Now, the other Happy Birthday Scripty was also, it was a different set, but it was also for calligraphy. And the Happy Birthday is an unmarked set that I've had at least 10 years. I just wanted a different look for that background since it had a lot going on. You saw that I was making some more card bases out of 120-pound cardstock. This one I already had in my stash. It was a foiled inner sentiment for a birthday card. And I thought it might be nice to put inside one of the birthday cards. And obviously it's portrait, so it will have to be the pink one because the blue Happy Birthday is landscape. I'm taking my Gina K dot runner tape. I love this stuff. I actually don't show it here, but I did mess up in one of these. I put it down and I had put it on upside down so the card opened the wrong way, and because it's a dot runner, and at least just because it's the Gina K dot runner, you have a moment where you can peel it up if you need to and readjust it, which was perfect for that, or it was not permanent immediately. Now you notice I put the sheet in here. I only glued the top portion. That's because I like to tell people they can reuse my cards. So I'll write my personal note on the sheet that I glued in there, but I only glued the top of it so they could rip it off later or put something else over it. Now we could just stop here and have 4 little note cards that kind of go in a set. But I wanted to give them a little extra pizzazz, and I had just a little bit of time left before the baby woke up from her mid-afternoon nap and decided to put some sequins down. These are inexpensive sequins. I got them, I believe, at a dollar store a couple years ago. They are 2 different sizes. I have a large size and a smaller size. And as you can see, my glue was clogged, so I used a pin to poke in there and get my glue out. And I glued all of those sequins down. There they are. Here's a trick. Make sure that you do your sequins in odd numbers. It just looks nicer. And there we have our entire set all done with matching envelopes. All done. Friends, thank you so much for joining me. I will see you next time. We'll make a card together. Bye-bye.